never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
So it says Erika Kirk was dating Cabot Phillips. And if you haven't heard the story, basically, they were dating. They have all kinds of Instagram stuff together, saying we're lovebirds. People are like, oh, you guys are the greatest couple. And they painted together, all this stuff, right? And the same dude was hanging out with Charlie.
I used to go to every single, Charlie and I were on the road probably 320 some days out of the year. All of a sudden, when I found out I was pregnant, I just stopped. I stayed home because I knew that once my little one was here, my focus was going to shift.
Another day, another Erika Kirk story unraveling. And this time, the receipts are doing the talking. A fresh batch of leaked messages and documents has surfaced, suggesting that Erika's ex-fiancé, Cabot Phillips, may have played a role in an alleged plot against Charlie. Even more explosive, those same receipts claim Erika was paid to act as Charlie's handler until the so-called mission was completed. But that's just the surface. Once people started digging, the rabbit hole went straight into the dark. Online investigators uncovered a string of unsettling details about Kit. Everything from a bizarre pizza tattoo hidden on the inside of his lip to questions surrounding his background and his family's alleged ties to a cult. Then there's the timeline that really raised eyebrows. Kit publicly claimed he welcomed a son in March 2024. Just months later, Erika allegedly gave birth to a child with Charlie, yet there isn't a single confirmed photo or record of her pregnancy anywhere. So now the question isn't just whether Erika lied about her dating life before Charlie. It's what else doesn't add up. Because when you start lining up the dates, the people involved, and the missing pieces, one thing becomes clear. The deeper you dig, the stranger and more disturbing this story gets. And yes, the receipts only get crazier from here.
Not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered.
Andrew Colbert is the person who received a text message from Charlie Kirk saying they're going to kill me.
He wrote me this, please pray for me. Quote, I know they want me dead.
All right, let's start with Erika's dating history, because a wave of newly leaked information directly contradicts the story she's been telling about her life before Charlie. According to Erika, she spent 5 full years single before meeting him. No serious relationships, no dating, nothing. She made this claim publicly during her CBS News town hall on December 14th, presenting it as a settled fact. But here's the problem. The receipts that have now surfaced tell a very different story. And when you place those new details next to what Erika said on record, the timeline doesn't just feel off. It completely falls apart.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going, I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie.
So that was Erika's version of events. Now let's look at what the record actually shows and what was really happening during those so-called 5 single years when Erika claimed she was quietly living her best life in New York City. While she was in NYC, Erika appeared on season 3 of Summer House, a Bravo reality show centered on partying, dating, and social drama. Her scenes were filmed in August 2018, both at a New York City bar and out in the Hamptons. And here's the key detail. Erika is clearly shown drinking alcohol on camera. That alone directly contradicts another claim she previously made about her lifestyle during that period. So when you line it all up, the dates, the footage, and what she said publicly, the story starts to crack. This wasn't a private, off-grid, 5-year stretch of solitude. It was public, documented, and filmed, which raises an uncomfortable question. If the timeline and the lifestyle don't match the narrative she told, what else was left out or rewritten entirely?
You guys a drink or food, maybe? I'll have a glass of your Chardonnay.
I'm gonna do the Mama's Martini. I don't know, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit more and
Right.
I don't even know how long you've been in New York.
Gosh, New York. I moved here 4 years ago.
How old are you? Can I ask you?
But Erika wasn't just casually going on dates for television. During those same 5 years in New York, she publicly dated at least 2 men, relationships that directly clash with the 5-year single narrative. First, there was Tyler J.T. Massey, a pro baseball player whom Erika openly referred to as her incredible boyfriend in an interview with Arizona Foothills magazine. At the time, their relationship appeared serious. Engagement-style photos and professional shoots circulated online, leading many to believe they were even engaged. Though to be clear, no public marriage records have ever been confirmed. But the real bombshell comes from viral footage dating back to one of Donald Trump's first major rallies in 2015. In that clip, Erika is seen standing beside a man who looks strikingly similar to JT Massey, with a young girl positioned between them. That single frame has sent the internet into overdrive. Online sleuths are now speculating whether the child could be theirs. Purely speculation, but speculation that exists for a reason. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Because if Erika was publicly in serious relationships, possibly even playing family, during the very years she later described as completely single, then the issue isn't a fuzzy memory. It's a narrative that doesn't line up with the evidence. And once again, the more closely people look, the more questions start piling up.
One of the calls I got was from Erika. She's like, hey, I was Miss Arizona. I love Donald Trump. Can I be involved? I'm like, absolutely. So I met her and I was like, we've got to put her behind the president. So I had my family behind the president. My grandpa, who just passed away just a few months ago, who loved Charlie, loved the show, everything, listened daily. It was my grandpa, my dad-in-law, Lauren, my wife, and Erika is up there. Yeah.
And it gets even more interesting because in that same frame, you can spot Tyler Bohr sitting down in the bleachers. Yes, that Tyler Bohr, the very person who later introduced Erika to Charlie. And that detail alone blows this wide open. Think about what that implies. If Tyler Bohr was already present in Erika's life years earlier, why was this entire chapter seemingly erased from the public narrative? Why push the story that Erika hadn't dated anyone before Charlie, when photos, footage, and multiple sources suggest otherwise? This wasn't some distant acquaintance. This was someone already orbiting her world.
I went to Turning Point's office opening for their first building, and Tyler he runs Turning Point Action now, and he said, you need to meet the CEO. I said, okay, great. Met him very quickly, shook his hand, said hi, nice to meet you. Neither of us thought anything of it. Looking back now, he apparently sat down with Tyler and said, Tyler said, we need to hire her, and he goes,
But hold up, because this story takes a sharp turn into full-on surreal. Before Tyler ever set Erika up with Charlie, she was already involved with another man. And this time, it wasn't an athlete or someone outside the political sphere. Erika became romantically linked to Cabot Phillips, a senior editor at the Daily Wire, who worked closely with Ben Shapiro. What makes this especially striking is that Kit is now reportedly touring with Turning Point USA, just months after Charlie Kirk was murdered. Now let's slow down and look at the timeline, because this is where things start to feel genuinely off. An old tweet from Kit that recently resurfaced confirms he was dating Erika in September 2017. In the post, he shared a photo of the two of them on a painting date, captioned, "Yes, we're that couple that gets painting lessons together." Sounds harmless until you see what else exists from that same month. There are also photos of Kit and Charlie together in September 2017, hanging out and even playing basketball. Here's the problem. Erika has consistently claimed she did not meet Charlie until 2018 at a Turning Point USA event in New York City. Yet somehow, her boyfriend at the time was already close enough to Charlie to be spending time with him socially. That alone blows a hole straight through the official story. And the deeper you dig into Kit's background, the stranger it gets. Kit's father is Tim Phillips, a longtime Republican power broker and former president of Americans for Prosperity. In 2021, Tim Phillips was abruptly forced to resign. No details were ever publicly disclosed. The organization released only a vague statement saying his actions were personal in nature, violated core principles, and made it impossible for him to continue in his role. But that's not the only red flag tied to the Phillips family. A Reddit user claiming to have gone to high school with Kit alleged that the family was deeply involved in running a culty megachurch in Leesburg, Virginia called Cornerstone Chapel. And that claim appears to check out. On the church's official website, Kit's brother, Barrett Phillips, is listed as an assistant pastor overseeing middle school youth. Then there's the detail that really sent the internet spiraling: Kit's pizza tattoo on the inside of his bottom lip. Online users immediately connected this to Charlie's own public statements. In past posts, Charlie repeatedly claimed that the word pizza was used as coded language for extremely dark criminal behavior. To be clear, there is no proof that Kit's tattoo is connected to anything illegal or sinister. But even critics admit it's an odd and unsettling choice, especially given the context and the people involved. Some online investigators have gone even further, dragging Erika's past involvement with Romanian angels into the discussion, adding yet another layer of speculation and unanswered questions. And here's the key point. The issue isn't that Erika dated before Charlie. That's normal. The issue is that she repeatedly denied it, while she and Kit appeared to scrub nearly every trace of their relationship from the internet. So the obvious question becomes, why lie at all? Unless there's a reason no one wants people digging too deeply into who Kit Phillips really is. Now brace yourself, because this next part may completely change how you view everything surrounding Charlie's assassination. You might remember Candace Owens previously claiming that Charlie's head of security, Brian Harpole, allegedly attended a secret military meeting just 2 days before Charlie was killed. Well, Candace has now revealed something even more explosive. According to her, an eyewitness has identified another person present at that same meeting. And that person was allegedly Cabot Phillips. If true, that single detail doesn't just raise questions, it detonates the entire narrative. Because at that point, this stops being about bad timelines or inconsistent stories and starts looking like something far bigger, far darker, and far more coordinated than anyone was prepared to admit.
I send him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember being at the base. Now I'm like, that would be totally crazy. Maybe, again, this could be a lookalike. And so I messaged Cabot Phillips and did not get a response. I messaged Cabot Phillips twice today, actually, and asked him if he wanted to have an off-record conversation. And I know that he does the Morning Wire up at Daily Wire. And I checked, and he's missing from the Morning Wire. He doesn't do it daily, but he does it enough times that I noticed that he is missing from September 4th to September 10th on that show.